Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk all things Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and today's report includes the Steelers finally get a wide receiver and defensive depth at the trade deadline. The Penguins once again blow a third-period lead as they lose on Long Island. Andrew McCutchen hopes to return to the Pirates next season, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the first news story of the day. The Steelers finally get a wide receiver and defensive depth at the trade deadline. The NFL's trade deadline has now come and gone, and so has the excruciatingly long topic of are the Steelers going to trade for a number 2 wide receiver. Thankfully, we can now put this saga to bed as the Steelers made 2 trades yesterday, one of those for a wide receiver. Let's start there, as yesterday around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Pittsburgh Steelers traded a 2025 5th-round pick to the New York Jets in exchange for veteran wide receiver Mike Williams. Williams this season has 12 receptions for 166 yards, but those numbers are a product of him being in a crowded wide receiver room in a dysfunctional Jets offense. The Steelers make this acquisition hoping they get the Mike Williams from his days as a Los Angeles Charger. In 7 seasons with the Chargers, Williams had over 300 receptions for 4,806 yards and 32 touchdowns. Also, since 2018, Williams has been one of the best contested catch receivers in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus, and he is great with ball security, something Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin preaches to his team. It's actually very fitting that Williams is the one who ends up here, as even before the Brandon Ayuk saga this past summer, Williams was first targeted by the Steelers, but signed with New York before he could meet with Pittsburgh. The second move that the Steelers made before yesterday's deadline was acquiring veteran edge rusher Preston Smith from the Green Bay Packers in exchange for a 2025 7th-round pick. This season, the 9-year veteran has 2.5 sacks and 19 total tackles in 9 games. Since 2021, Smith has 28 sacks, 164 total tackles, 97 of those solo, and 5 forced fumbles. In that same time, he has 158 quarterback pressures and 58 run stops, according to PFF. Very few saw the addition of the 31-year-old coming, but on X yesterday, former Steelers offensive lineman Ramon Foster revealed that head coach Mike Tomlin has a fascination with Smith, saying, "Coach T has always been a fan of him since he was in Washington. Wednesday team meetings on Preston was always very detailed. Good to see him in black and gold." With this addition, the Steelers now have the best edge rushing room in the entire league, with TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, and now Preston Smith. My final reaction to these moves is positive for the most part. Starting with Williams, I think he will be unlocked more in the Steelers offense than he ever would have been in New York. At his peak, he will almost be like a second George Pickens out there as a deep ball threat for Russell Wilson. I think some people, including myself, were initially underwhelmed by the move, mainly because this dilemma of finding a wide receiver 2 carried out for months with much bigger names than Williams being rumored. Also, if you have a problem with the Steelers trading a 5th for Williams, just imagine that the compensation of both trades was swapped, and it looks much better. As for Smith, I think he will be an excellent veteran addition to the defense, and shore up the D-line that has had some trouble stopping the run recently. Besides, should Watt and Highsmith both need to come off the field for a couple of snaps, there should be little drop-off with Herbig and Smith out there. I chalk up this deadline as a win for the Steelers. Even if both players are just rentals for the rest of the year, they should play key roles and help the Steelers win down the tough home stretch and into playoffs. What is your assessment of the Steelers' trade deadline moves? Let me know in the comments below. And welcome to Pittsburgh, Mike Williams and Preston Smith. Mike Tomlin announces 5 players could return from injury this week. Yesterday wasn't only the NFL's trade deadline, but was also a Tomlin Tuesday, as the Steelers head coach had his annual weekly press conference. There weren't really many newsworthy notes from Tomlin's presser, as it was overshadowed by the trade deadline, but he did mention that 5 players could make a return to the field this Sunday against the Commanders. Those 5 players are running back Cordero Patterson, center Zach Frazier, linebackers Tyler Matakevich and Nick Herbig, and corner Corey Trice. The most critical players on this list are center Zach Frazier and linebacker Nick Herbig. Frazier has been one of the Steelers' best O-linemen this year, and he needs to start getting some reps with Russell Wilson, while Herbig would put some fear back into opposing offenses when TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith is off the field. Kickoff for Steelers Commanders in Washington is scheduled for 1 p.m., and hopefully all or most of these 5 injured players will suit up for the black and gold. The Penguins once again blow a third period lead as they lose on Long Island. Last night was the same old story for the Pittsburgh Penguins as they lost in a shootout to the New York Islanders 4-3. I'll admit, with the election going on, I was only half paying attention to the game, but it was very easy to see that one glaring issue for the Pens continues on. Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin stayed hot with a goal each, and Michael Bunting got his first tally of the season. However, the Pens gave up 2 third-period goals in a little over 3 minutes apart to blow another multi-goal lead. In OT, both teams exchanged power plays, but you knew the game was over when it went to a shootout. Bo Horvat scored the lone shootout goal for the Isles, and Ilya Sorokin stopped all 3 Penguin shooters to take the W. I and many other Penguins fans are getting sick of this. This is the 3rd or 4th time already this year that the Pens had a third-period collapse. Not beating your divisional opponent in regulation when you had a 2-goal lead is bad enough, but not getting a crucial second point makes it even worse. It's going to be a long season if this team keeps playing like this. Can't wait to see how this team does against 2 more division opponents in the Hurricanes and Capitals on Thursday and Friday. The Pittsburgh Pirates make multiple roster moves. The MLB offseason is now in full swing as multiple teams are making roster decisions. The Pirates are no exception, as on Monday they made the following roster transactions. The Bucks reinstated 4 players from the 60-day IL, including starting pitcher Johan Oviedo, relief pitcher Dari Moreta, relief pitcher Hunter Stratton, and catcher Endy Rodriguez. It's great to see these 4 players back, especially Oviedo, Moreta, and Rodriguez, who were greatly missed for the entire 2024 season. With that foursome being reinstated, 3 relief pitchers were removed from the 40-man roster in Ben Heller, Dalton Jeffries, and Isaac Mattson. Additionally, the Bucks claimed outfielder Trey Cabbage off of waivers from the Houston Astros. And lastly, left-handed starting pitcher Marco Gonzalez declined his club option and elected for free agency. Gonzalez now becomes the 6th Pirate to hit free agency, alongside lefty relief pitchers Ryan Borucki, Jalen Beeks, and Aroldis Chapman, as well as catcher Yasmani Grandal and designated hitter Andrew McCutchen. We will have to wait and see what other roster moves are yet to come, and hopefully the Pirates are more competitive spenders in free agency. Andrew McCutchen hopes to return to the Pirates next season. Speaking of Andrew McCutchen, the question of whether he will return to Pittsburgh for one final year now takes center stage. Well, Kutch himself has now made it known that he would like to come back to the Burgh next season. While congratulating Jared Triolo for winning a Gold Glove on X, the former MVP was asked in the comments, "Are you coming back? That's what everyone wants to know." McCutchen responded with a gif that says, "I hope so." In 2024, Kutch played 120 games, where he had 20 home runs, 50 RBIs, a batting average of .232, and an OPS of .739. To put these stats in perspective, among players who appeared in the same number of games or more with the Pirates last year, McCutchen was 3rd in home runs, 4th in RBIs, 3rd in batting average, and 3rd in OPS. At age 38, the Pittsburgh favorite has had his fair share of problems staying on the field, and has really been limited to just DHing, but his stats among the rest of the team, and his leadership in the clubhouse, shows his true value. Do you want the Pirates to re-sign Andrew McCutchen for one more year? Let me know in the comments. Another Pittsburgh Pirate is a finalist for an MLB award. So in the previous segment, I talked about how Andrew McCutchen is 3rd or 4th on the Pirates in most major batting stat categories. Well, first in those categories is Pirates cornerstone outfielder Bryan Reynolds. In the 2024 season, Reynolds led the Bucks in games played, at-bats, runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, batting average, on-base percentage, and OPS. Putting up these numbers has made Reynolds a finalist for the Louisville Slugger Silver Slugger Award for utility players. Reynolds will have tough competition going up against the Miami Marlins' Jake Berger, San Diego Padres' Luis Arias, and Los Angeles Dodgers' Mookie Betts. Hopefully, Reynolds can beat out the competition and join Jared Triolo as the 2nd Pirate to bring home individual hardware this offseason. Congratulations on a fantastic 2024 season, and best of luck in getting this award, B-Ray. And finally, a Pirates legend is on the ballot for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Aside from Bryan Reynolds being up for Silver Slugger, congratulations are in order for legendary Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder and World Series champion Dave Parker. Parker is one of 8 finalists on the Classic Baseball Era ballot for the Hall of Fame class of 2025. In his 19-year career, Parker was league MVP with the Pirates in 1978, a 3-time Gold Glove winner, a 3-time Silver Slugger, and a 2-time World Series champion, one of those in 1979 with the Pirates. His career stat line shows that he had a batting average of .290, 2,712 hits, 339 home runs, and 1,493 RBIs. The results of who will make the Hall of Fame class of 2025 will be announced in early December. Best of luck to Dave Parker on his bid to make the Baseball Hall of Fame. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go catch up on some sleep from last night, but I will see you guys back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news.